Money. It's the thing we use to buy stuff, get stuff, and the thing we give stuff away for. It's the thing modern society is centered on, for better or for worse.
Inflation
with
high housing costs.
We're all gonna die!
Companies. Those big enterprises that annually receive billions and billions of dollars from our pockets, creating millionaires and billionaires. But what about gaming companies? We live in a time where money is literally our most valuable resource. A resource that we will strive and literally kill for. Hell, I'm trying to get monetized so I can get those 60 bucks a year. Help me achieve that. So how, in an environment like this, do gaming companies manage to profit so much? How do free-to-play games like Genshin Impact bring in millions of dollars on a monthly basis? How do innocent games like this trick adults and kids into spending thousands of monies and becoming addicted to the idea of spending money on games? This is how gaming companies squeeze you for money. Chapter 1. Bait. To attract money, your game first needs to attract people. People who will bring money to you on a silver platter. Except there's a problem. People are not going to give you money just like that, are they? You need to make it seem worth for them to spend money. So how do you do that? Step 1. Make a game. One that is simple, to the point, yet very enjoyable and highly addictive. You need this thing to be like nicotine. This thing needs to be like vape for kids. Step 2. Add difficulty. It is essential that the game isn't straightforward and causes problems for the players. Problems that you can pay around for. Speaking of, step 3. Add problems. Problems that, again, can be worked around by paying. Now that you have a fun and enjoyable game that will get players addicted, chapter 2. Implementation. Why is this word so convoluted? Now it's time to implement the ways the player pays. There are plenty of ways to do it. The most popular one is the
Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass.
Yeah, the Battle Pass is in essentially every single game now. It's simple, to the point, yet it adds to your game. The Battle Pass is a way to get your player to continue playing for that reward, and to pay for even better reward. Now, while we are at it, you should add an in-game currency. I will explain why in the next chapter, but for now, let's continue with other paying features, such as cosmetics or skins. Usually, these will bring only a percentage of the income for the company, unless it's a game like Valorant or CS, where literally everything revolves around skins. Remember the problems I mentioned in the previous section? Well, add a stamina system, which limits how much your players can play. And then of course they can pay to buy more stamina. Now this is a double-edged sword, because for it to work, you need a player to be highly invested into your game. Otherwise, the stamina system might just end their session and bring you absolutely nothing but disappointment, which your mother has enough of. But by far, the best way to make money is to create a literal, unregulated online casino, aka just loot boxes. Seriously, these things are literally unregulated gambling that I'm totally not addicted to, by the way. This can be in the form of cases, loot boxes, or just the gacha banners. There's a reason casinos are so profitable, and video games are even more so. If a casino gives you out actual money if you win, video game give you a digital item that has no actual tangible worth to it. It's just literally a bunch of code and a picture applied to it, or a texture file. Therefore, even when you win, you don't, because you just spent money on a bunch of code in a PNG. Now, additionally, if you're making a phone game, you can make an ad-off payment thing or something like that. But if your game has ads, then honestly you have bigger problems than making money on the game. And with that, chapter 3, psychology. Humans are weird. We are perhaps the smartest and the dumbest beings in the universe. So how do you get the predator to become the prey? Simple. You abuse the human's brain. Because we're stupid. That's what I just said. The first way to get a player to spend is to ground him in some sort of understanding of how much an item is worth. And one of the best ways to do this is to just give him a completely unreasonable offer. Pay $100 for 50 gems. No. Just no. I'm not gonna pay that. Except that's what you're supposed to say. And when you see a limited time offer of 300 gems for just $10, you're so much more likely to buy it. This unreasonable offer makes it seem like everything else seems reasonable. But that's not enough. You need to make the players even more hooked on the cocaine you're selling as a video game. So you can give them something at the beginning of the game, a legendary item or character. This way they already have some sort of worth on their account, and they are less likely to just give up on the game. You need the player to be attached to your game so that they can feel like this game is important in their life, and therefore it has some value, and spending money on it is perfectly fine. All the player needs to do really is just to spend money once. The moment, the very single instance that a single payment goes through, the barrier that stops the player from paying falls down. Now that he has paid once, he will pay again. It's just a matter of time. So now let's pull another trick from the book to make the player spend. Detach them from reality. You want to give the player a sense of worth in the items while also completely blocking out reality. In-game currency does exactly that, which is why we added it. It exchanges real money for arbitrary figures. $5 seems like a price. 500 gems seems like a deal. What's $200 again? I only see 20,000 gems. A very clever trick is to use weird numbers in your conversions. For example, you want to buy this very cool item? It's 1,470 gems. But the option to buy gems are all rounded. So you have to buy the 2,500 gem pack to buy this item, leaving you with another 1,030 gems. Now just make sure that the player has literally nothing to buy that will completely drain this amount. Make sure that there's at least some currency on his account so that the player feels like he has something, and maybe he can just spend that little bit more to get that use out of those gems, right? Also, make sure that there are not too many options on the gem packs and just other paying options. You do not want to scare your players with options, because too many options can fry the brain and it will end up just not buying anything. But there's more psychology to this. You can add a time gate. Why is there a plane flying? Who permitted planes to flying while I'm recording? Bro, I live in a village for a reason. You can add a time gate on the item. Fear of missing out at its best. If you don't pay now, you will never get this item. You will lose it forever. That was the cringiest voice I could have ever made. I hate myself. Oh, and add RNG, because unregulated online casinos are cool. Oh no? You died? Get your credit card and spend 300 gems for an instant revive. I mean, seriously, immediate gratification at its finest. You want to give your players an immediate sense of happiness. You want them to associate spending money with being happy. It's like paying a hooker to peg you. What the fuck? And that's how gaming companies abuse you. If I missed something or forgot to mention something, or I'm just an idiot or something, comment it down and I will scream at myself for being an idiot and not mentioning it. Thank you for watching. I still don't know how to make an intro.